Hey there, Sir Yuan here. Welcome back to another video lesson. For today, we'll be talking about prepositions, definition, function, and types. So, what are prepositions? Preposition is a word or group of words used before a noun, pronoun, or a noun phrase to show direction, time, place, location, spatial relationships, and to introduce an object. Some examples of prepositions are words like in, at, on, off, to. Now, prepositions function as either an adverb or an adjective in a particular sentence. Now, when a preposition is associated with prepositional phrase modifying a verb, adjective, or another adverb, they act as adverbs, of course. They provide additional information about the action, the verb's intensity, or the way something is being done. So for example, we have here, she ran through the park. If we dissect the sentence, this is an SV type of sentence pattern. So we have here, she ran where? Through the park. So the prepositional phrase through the park modifies the verb ran by specifying where the action took place. So another example here is the car drove very fast. The prepositional phrase very fast modifies the adverb fast to indicate the degree of speed. So in this case, our preposition is, or rather the prepositional phrase is very fast. Now, prepositions also function as adjectives in a particular sentence, modifying nouns or noun phrases. In this case, they provide more information about the noun, often specifying which one or describing the noun in more detail. For example, the book on the shelf is my favorite. The prepositional phrase on the shelf modifies the noun book to indicate its location. So if we dissect the sentence, which book is my favorite? The book on the shelf. Another one, we have the man with the red hat is waiting for you. The prepositional phrase with the red hat modifies the noun man to describe the appearance of the man. All right, so for today, we'll be discussing 5 types of preposition, or depending on its use or function in the sentence. We have here direction, time, place, location, and spatial relationship. Now, for direction, when a preposition or if a sentence is referring to a direction, we use the prepositions to, in, into, on, and onto. So, for example, she drove to the store. Don't ring the doorbell. Come right into the house or in the house. Drive on the grass and park the car there, or drive onto the grass and park the car there. Another would be time. In order for us to refer time to one point in time in a particular sentence, use a preposition in, at, and on. So use in with parts of the day, not specific times, like months, years, and seasons. So for example, he reads in the evening. The weather is cold in December. She was born in 1996. We rake leaves in the fall. I use at with the time of day. Also use at with noon, night, and midnight. So for example, I go to work at 8. He eats lunch at noon. She often goes for a walk at 9, and they go to bed at midnight. Another would be the use of on with days. So, for example, I work on Saturdays. He does laundry on Wednesdays. And lastly, if we are referring to extended time, we use prepositions since, for, by, during, from and to, from and until, with and within. So, for example, he works part time during the summer for the period of time throughout the summer. So, this indicates that during the summer, we are talking about throughout the period of summer. Next example would be I will collect data from January to June. So this means that starting in January and ending in June, which is indicated by the preposition from. Now, if we are referring to a place, in order for us to refer a place in our sentence, we use the prepositions in, the point itself, then at, the general vicinity or proximity, and then we use on when we talk about surface, and inside, something that is contained or something that we are able to step inside to. So we have here a few examples. They will meet in the lunchroom. So we have in the lunchroom. So we are going inside a particular closed space. We have here she was waiting at the corner. He left his phone on the bed. So the location. Then place the pen inside the drawer. Another use case would be if we are referring to an object higher than a point, use prepositions over and above. To refer to an object lower than a point, we use the prepositions below, beneath, under, and underneath. So, for example, the bird flew over the house. We have here the plates were on the shelf above the cups. Basements are dug below ground. If we are referring to an object close to a point, use the prepositions by, near, next to, between, among, and opposite. For example, we have the gas station is by the grocery store. The park is near her house. Park your bike next to the garage. And then there is a deer between two trees. So again, we are referring to an object close to a particular point. So for example, with the first sentence, by the grocery store. So the gas station is by the grocery store. So we are talking about a particular location close to a particular another particular space. So we use by. So by the grocery store. And then lastly, we have location, or rather not lastly, but second to the last, we have a location. When we are referring to a location, we use the prepositions in. When we are referring to an area or a volume, then we use at. When we are talking about a point, on, we're talking about surfaces, so location. So we have here 3 examples. They live in the country, that's an area. So in the country, she will find him at the library. So we have here a point or a specific location, pinpoint. We have here the prepositional phrase at the library. Another one is there is a lot of dirt on the window. So we have here on the window, which is talking about the surface of the window. And then lastly, when we use prepositions or prepositional phrases for spatial relationship, we use prepositions like above, across, against, ahead of, along, among, around, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, from, in front of, inside, near, off, out of, through, toward, under, and within. Now, don't be confused with place, location, and spatial relationship, as they are all essentially talking about the same thing, which is place. However, we are dissecting them into specific groups so that we may be able to somewhat recognize prepositions used for general places, for spatial relationships, and for specific locations. So we have here a few examples. The post office is across the street from the grocery store. We will stop at many attractions along the way. The kids are hiding behind the tree. His shirt is off. Walk towards the garage and then turn left. And then lastly, place a check mark within the box. So that's about it. Thank you all for watching and for listening to the recording. When we meet, we'll have a particular activity. This will involve a few technical things that may be very helpful for you in order for you to understand the form and function of a particular sentence or of a particular word in a sentence. Till next time, stay safe and have a great morning.